night, we had an incident last night that around, I'll figure what time you think it was, Patriot?
Well, the helicopter started about 8.
So we had the helicopters that were hovering, and we don't know why they were doing it. You thought, Patriot, that it was a tugboat.
Well, I said helicopter first, and then it sat there for so long I thought it might be a tugboat because it wouldn't move. So I figured there's no way a helicopter's going to stay because it stayed there like 20 minutes the first time.
So after it hovered, it kind of went away, and then it came back a little later.
About 10:30, 11 o'clock. It hovered out there right behind the tent, 200 yards, probably at least another 15-20 minutes, just hovered there.
So,
and then
we thought that
the game warden come flying up through here, and he checked after the helicopter left. He come flying up through here and checked our camping permits and our fishing license, even though we wasn't fishing. And I told him we wasn't fishing. He said he'd come back tomorrow. So I just showed it to him so he wouldn't come back. I hate to see people like that more than once.
And then the helicopter left, never came back. The game warden stopped halfway down the hill and stayed there for a little bit, put on its rear lights, and then the back lights came on, and then he took off. Later on that night, you were awakened.
Right. And I'm sleeping right here in a hammock. In this hammock I'm sleeping in. And there was somebody walking from up here by the crooked tree. There was 2 people coming down through there. I could hear their gear rustling and rattling. They was military. And they were probably just on maneuvers. But they stopped right there by that crooked tree, and they turned around and they went to the woods to the left of that tree, and I heard them cracking brush as they left.
Later on that night, when
Jerry was snoring the whole time that happened.
I was snoring the whole time. Later on that night, I heard, while I was sleeping in my tent, sounded like 2 or 3 dog-like animals.
Coyotes, buddy.
Coyotes.
They were coyotes. Not a dog-like animal.
Come around, well, 4 legs.
Coyote, yeah.
Could have been foxes.
No.
Well, they come running real fast, and 2 of them kept going up. One went down the hill, and the other one ran off that way, and one stayed behind and did a bunch of sniffing, and it was like he was sniffing right where my head was on the tent, in the tent area.
And at that time, I was snoring.
Yeah, you were snoring. So when the animals kind of ran off, I heard 2 or 3 people walking and then stopping right here at camp. I yelled for you because I thought that was you maybe getting up and out. And I called for the name. You were snoring.
Yeah. But you didn't yell quite loud enough.
Yeah. So later that night, or later that day and that morning, we set up a combat multiplier where we made it harder if someone's going to come
Put a lot of trip sticks and noise
makers
so that they can come through the brush and they'll make a little bit of noise, or maybe it'll stop them altogether from coming this way. I personally think it was just people that are training at Fort Campbell coming over here, and it was a Thursday night, and they have usually people graduate on Fridays, but they have their final courses on like a Thursday.
Yeah.
I spent 6 years in the military, so I kind of know a little bit about it.
Right.
And it was probably on a night navigation course. The helicopter probably dropped them in the water, and they swam to shore, and they had so much time to get to a certain point. And I'm thinking earlier in the day when the first helicopter here, he was dropping off the cadre, and they got set up so that their troops that they were training could come in later on that night, and they could grade them on their land nav abilities.
And another thing that kind of confirms what you were thinking is when we were over there setting up the trip wires and some combat multipliers, you seen an Army boot camp.
I did find 2 sets of tracks, and they were military issue boots.
Alright, so
And I did find a chem light hanging down the path in a tree where they marked the trail. Glow stick. That's about it.
Well, we're hanging in there. I'm learning all I can. And, but it's been raining a lot, so.
2 days of rain. Yeah.
So we'll go on and we'll keep doing at this, and soon I'll get a connection and I'll put it on us. But until then, peace be with you. B for victory, Garden Militia.